Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rodeo Time, the podcast. Yeah, that's right. We got your man, Dale Brisby.
Sorry, it takes a while to switch over.
We've also got Mr. Willie Wardle, Jordan Halverson, and Donnie Ray Daytona. Yeah, that's right. We've got a big day today. We're going to tell you guys about a lot of things that are new to, well, they're not new to us, but they're new to you. As the viewer, as the watcher, the listener, we got a Netflix show, and we're going to talk about what that was like to film. If you would, please go watch the trailer on the Netflix YouTube channel. It's in my Instagram bio. That'll get Netflix to be like, wow, these fans of Dale's, they really want a season 2. Also, go, if you've got a Netflix account, go add it to your list. So right now it's in the coming soon box. You got to search it. How to Be a Cowboy with Dale Brisby, and just put add to my list. Remind me later. That would be the kitty's titties.
Yeah.
We would love that if you did that because again that just helps. And then when it comes out, hopefully you binge watch it, and Netflix will be like, we got to give these guys a season 2.
Yeah.
So. And if we disappoint you, then just keep it to yourself. We'd like to thank everybody that brought us this podcast. Some partners of Dale Brisby, Rock and Roll Denim. They get the Reflex that we're wearing, American Hats, Total Feeds, powering our animals here. Whoa, Boone. Boone has an Instagram account now.
He has more followers than me.
And me. No, he actually has more followers. I mean, I think Dale Brisby follows Boone.
Yeah. Also, Can-Am, BRP, Can-Am Off-Road. They are just powering the ranch. That's what we feed on every day. It's what we do fence on. It's what we ranch on. When we're not horseback, we're Can-Am back. That's a good one.
Yep.
I need to put that on a shirt. So, enough of the plugs. Let's hear more about Jordan. The intern's been blurred out for a year, and the Netflix show.
Rodeo time. Gotta get her on down the road.
How's my hair look?
It's good. It's got a lot of volume today.
My wig was getting kind of weird this morning, so I had to
Who's your wig guy?
wash it. I am my wig guy.
Oh.
That's why I got to ask guys like y'all, like, what's up with this? How you think about my wig? What is it? What is it that we were supposed to talk about today? Oh, that's right. This person's been here for a year, and we haven't been able to show her. Matter of fact, we haven't even been able to, like, say that it's a her.
It's weird looking at you without pixelation all over you.
Yeah.
You look different.
Yeah.
I now have a real face now.
Yeah. Everyone, this is Jordan. Joe, a.k.a. Jordan. For a little bit, you were Proby.
Gosh, that was terrible.
You didn't like Proby?
My family was calling me Proby.
Yeah. Probationary intern. That's what Proby was short for. I could see how you wouldn't like it. I don't know how I would feel about it.
I mean, yeah.
Because everybody's going to think like, well, I wonder why they call you that. What, give us your story.
I'm Jordan from North Carolina, and I'm a bull rider.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
Yep. Came here a year ago. Been here ever since.
How long you been riding bulls?
I've been riding bulls since 2012, 13-ish. So, however long that is.
What, you just get on them jump kickers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just jump kickers that, wrecked me out all the time.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in the hospital.
Hey, easy. Willie gets wrecked out by jump kickers all the time.
Yeah, a lot, actually.
So the other obvious thing that we're talking about today is the fact that Rodeo Time now is going to be aired on Netflix.
We're going
That's right.
global.
Ba-boom.
Going global. 200 countries, all with the exception of China, Russia. No. China, North Korea, and Syria or something.
Yeah,
There's 3
those
of
were
them.
the 3.
Yeah. So we're going to be all over the world, people. So Netflix, September 1st. It's a big day. 2 years we've been keeping this a secret.
Yep.
That's how long ago the first talks of having a Netflix show came about.
Well, we shot the first,
Presentation tape.
2 years ago. So, really, it's probably been more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, so Netflix, they don't have... they might with some people, but with us, what we did was, it's called a presentation tape.
Yep.
and it's kind of like a cut down version of what the show will be like. So it was crazy because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't even know at the time that whether or not we actually had a show, you know, so you're kind of taking a chance. So you do the presentation tape, and I think it was like 14 minutes. And so we had to cram everything into 14 minutes, like who we were, show them what we could do, show them what, and it was fun. We had to do it all in 2 days.
Yeah.
It was low budget.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. That was a long 48 hours. And then we waited a while, and then they were like, let's do it. You know, they were excited. They liked it. And we negotiated. Everybody was happy. We all said thumbs up. And, you know, everything it just takes a while. You don't just go make a show, a TV show, come to find out.
Yeah. You don't just turn on the cameras and.
I mean, like, it doesn't feel like it should take that long because it's only a 22-minute episode.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like a hurry up and wait, probably even before then. Like, it was
Right.
hurry up and wait when we were filming it.
right.
And I'm sure it was like that before, too. It's like, hurry up, get it done. And then it's like, then you wait for who knows how long.
And the production company, that Red Arrow, it was like they would warn right off the bat, you know, like once we realized, hey, this is possible, they're like, this is possible. Even if it does happen, it's not going to happen tomorrow. And they were not wrong. You know, it's just it's like you just watch this thing grow and grow. And anyway, so that part was, but I think the big thing about it is like, we're putting out content the whole time. You know, we're making videos, we're doing all this other stuff, we're doing podcasts, but we can't talk about this one thing that is at times in the 2 years taking up the majority of our day.
Yeah. For 2 months, like, that's all we did.
Yeah.
But we still put out content.
Then we started filming. Yeah, so about a year ago we started filming. And most of September and all of September and
The
October.
last week in October.
Yeah, we
like,
started in late August. We finished in, you know, like right around the 1st of November. And October was our biggest month in YouTube up to that point.
Oh, yeah.
So it had kind of fluctuated during 2020 because of not views. Views are going up, but I guess ad spend.
Yeah.
And
It's a hard thing to figure out, YouTube.
it is.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. You know, it's like when you think like it's not frequency, it's, you know, it's not necessarily quantity, you know, it's quality. Sometimes you feel like it's quantity over quality,
Yeah. I think it
YouTube
just
is different.
depends,
and then
honestly.
we didn't want to make the show, we didn't want to make the YouTube videos too long because, you know, we wanted to keep those just a taste of what they were going to possibly see in the in the Netflix show, which the Netflix show was completely different than anything we've ever filmed on YouTube
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
well, all we had to worry about was being ourselves.
Yeah.
We had a whole crew there to film it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like me and Donnie and like I'm playing director and then we're just kind of goofing around. Okay, you hold the camera. It was just like, that was what was cool.
Yeah.
It's
Shout
like-
out to Cooper, snack guy.
We had a snack
He
guy.
actually texted me yesterday.
He texted me today.
Yeah.
He said, "Woo, you're gonna be famous." I said, "No, I just work for famous people."
But it's like you got this whole crew to like, man, it freed us up to be ourselves.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the 2 months. We're filming 2 months, but like we were also putting out content on social media. Nobody ever knew we really didn't take 2 months off. Like numbers still kept climbing,
Yeah.
views. Anyway, that was interesting, but we couldn't talk about it. That was the thing, which I understand why, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, I get it, but man, it's hard. Are you yawning again?
Yeah. It's something about these microphones. I think I'm allergic.
Yanni Daytona. That's what he's been.
That was like going on when I first got here. Y'all were talking about that Instagram.
So Joe showed up in the show. Like the cameras are on when she pulls up. And it wasn't choreographed. There was like maybe she waited 10 minutes in one spot. But like most of it was like she was going to be there that day, whether cameras were on or not. And pull up and then tell us about your experience as an intern pulling up to Radiator Ranch, normally they pull up to a YouTube camera, but you're pulling up to 4 Netflix cameras.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was super nervous because they have this production office, right? And I had to go there first. Like, I didn't just go straight to the ranch, and I went there first, and like, you know, they give me the COVID stuff, and then I pull up to the ranch, and y'all are all like sitting there just staring at me with Netflix cameras. Never met y'all in person, and I was very nervous.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying it would have maybe helped you had we been like bucking something?
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I probably would have loosened up. I don't know. I was pretty nervous all the way.
Did you feel like you were being judged
I didn't feel
before
like,
a panel?
I didn't feel like I was being judged, but I was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess kind of, actually.
Yeah. Well,
Like, I didn't know what to expect.
I wonder.
Didn't you watch Rodeo Times?
Yeah, I mean, I did, but not with Netflix cameras. Like, I mean, there's a whole crew. Everyone's masked up, too, so, like, you can't even see their faces.
I don't even know what some of them look
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I never seen some like Rob.
Yeah.
Like I think I seen in his face at the rap party.
Oh, I
That
guess-
was the only part that like sucked, was not being able to interact with them more.
Yeah,
You know,
I
we
would
just
have
had
liked
to
to
kind
have.
which all of our stuff was outside, so it made it much more safe.
Mhm.
All of it was, but
no one got COVID
yeah,
during that time
yeah, nobody.
on the crew.
There was only 6 in the whole county at the time.
Yeah,
Like it was like at that, it was summertime. It was literally the safest time of the year that we could have done it, and we were all pretty, you know, we were all pretty isolated. I mean, Winnebago's not the biggest town in the world,
No.
and you know,
What do you guys do
like-
out here?
yeah.
has Leroy been? I mean, you can test him, but that joker don't interact with nobody outside of the 3 people you're looking at. Like, if he ain't sitting in front of that tack room, he's at his house doing leather work.
The guy lives in a square mile.
Yeah, there's no exposure here. If if he got it, you gave it to him.
Yeah,
But anyway, no, that part was made it interesting. But if anything, I mean, like we powered through it, and we did what we needed to do, and everybody that was the. It's funny talking about, you know, the safety of that kind of stuff, given the things we were doing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, not doing for the show. Like, we were going to be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they just happened to be there, the ones filming it. But, golly.
Are we allowed to talk about any of that stuff?
Well, I think, like, some of it's in the trailer.
Yeah, like the boom,
That was in the trailer.
the great big boom.
That's not going to
Yeah,
be.
That was.
So, yeah, we don't want to give too much of the show away. But that big boom in that trailer,
Was not like it planned for.
not planned.
That was not pyrotechnician.
I'm sure the production company probably got some eyebrows, you know, raised at them from
Yeah.
Netflix. But,
Yeah.
like,
Who was in charge of like setting up?
that was me.
That was all you,
That was me.
There was.
Dale
Do
Brisby.
you think we're allowed to say that? How
What?
much we used?
Well, we don't need to give a certain amount, not because
was
they're
a lot.
not at fault. Like,
Yeah.
it's me. It's my fault.
yeah,
you know.
I understand.
So I appreciate your checking in, but essentially what it was like we were.
I think I used a little too much.
I don't think it was from using too much. I thought it was from the time spent after you dumped it.
I think it was too much.
yeah, I think all around.
I had okay.
Both.
The only thing that would have made it better if the percussion would have like blown us back.
Like in the movie.
You were close.
That would have been. That would not have been better.
Funny. If we would have done like a flip.
This was the Lord's hand. If you watch, you can see it in the trailer. But if you watch that explosion, it goes away from us. Like, it looks like we set it up.
Yeah.
And it's like it's gonna go that
You
way.
played it really cool. I don't know how you did that. Like you were the only one that like didn't like shrug. Like my shoulders were in my ears.
I don't know how.
Leroy was running. Like he was out. Cheech wasn't much better.
Golly, Facebook crazy.
I
And of
didn't-
course, we had the fire department there.
Yeah.
You know, like they were already there. Like we didn't expect that to happen, but we were planning for the worst. Which, you know, everything was so green, nothing happened. Like it just like fizzled. But of course, anyway, Pedro on the fire department, he was like, 911 just called me. They've had 4 calls in 60 seconds. The whole town
Yeah.
felt it.
Well, on Facebook, anything Winnebago. I guess everyone was like, "Oh, it's just Dale Brisby up to something."
There was all kinds of
Yeah.
rumors. Some people were saying Dale Brisby. Some people were saying a tank battery exploded. Some people
lab.
said a meth house.
All the rumors were going out.
Yeah, like trailer houses were shaking because that's the primary, dwelling of choice in Winnebago is one that you can wheel in there, and the windows.
That way you can wheel it out.
I was sitting up against the tack shed, and I felt it. Like, it shook the
Yeah.
tack shed.
Yeah, that was crazy. My sister. Well, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to reveal too much because you got to watch it in the show. Y'all go check it out. The trailer is on YouTube. It's on Netflix's YouTube. The link to it is in my bio on Instagram. We put it in the bio of every YouTube video. But, go check out the trailer. It was 2 straight months of filming every day, and we had a blast at the end of it. Like, Donnie's first words were, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if y'all were, like, over it after 2 months. I mean, sleep in the day after, but like Donnie said, I'm ready to film season 2. And I felt the exact same way.
Yeah, like maybe 2 weeks off, like a week or 2 off, and let's go back at it.
Which makes sense because that's what we do every day.
Uh-huh. Well, we were doing the fun stuff every day.
Yeah.
We-
And we didn't have to edit it.
Yeah.
We didn't have to worry about sound.
yeah.
Which
didn't
we never worry about sound anyway, but
yeah.
dang. These podcast listeners are like, oh, we know. We know you don't. People, I'm sorry. I apologize about, it's the acoustics in here. I don't know what it is. I'm figuring out this sound game, all right? I'm the best bull rider in the world, all right? So the fact that I don't have this sound deal perfected should prove that.
Yeah.
If I were like, otherwise I'd be like the best sound guy at a rodeo. Like, I'm not Rockstar Sound. I'm not Hambone.
Yeah,
Josh
Hambone.
Hambone Hilton here. So, shout out to Rum Chat. Anyway, Joe, back to you. How did you feel after the 2 months?
I was ready to keep going. I didn't really need any time off. I would have been fine going right into season 2.
Season 2, I wonder what the production crew is going to think about. Lord willing, we get one. If that we change your name from Jordan to Joe.
I don't know. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I think I was calling her Joe the whole time.
No, we had that deal where we were talking about nicknames when we were unloading feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what the nicknames were. They were kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
Your nicknames?
The nicknames we were
Dang.
giving each other.
See,
I don't
I
remember
completely
that.
forgot about that episode.
I don't remember that.
It's in there. 'cause
That was
lady,
wild.
I saw the lady commented on it, about
Oh,
our
yeah, one of the
nicknames.
editors?
Yeah, one of
That's
the editors did.
Yeah, that was cool.
I don't remember that.
Whenever y'all were feeding while me and Leroy were gone to that
I
deal.
remember like that, but I don't remember the nicknames.
You just space out when you're filming.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I was hauling feet. I was
Yeah,
was
you were working.
You were
yeah,
working.
I had to do most of it.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Golly, we that was a long day.
Yeah.
Like in a good way because of what we were doing. The filming didn't take away from it at all. Like I forgot the cameras were even. Golly, I wish I could talk about that right now. But essentially, there were some celebrity appearances, and that's going to be a fun episode. 6 episodes, at least 22 minutes. Some of them go a little bit longer. So it's over 2 hours of nonstop Dale Brisby and company rodeo time action. Kevin, you were in it, weren't you? Yeah, no, he wasn't. Kevin wasn't in it. Kevin's our one-armed bandit. He's the newest. Are you the newest intern?
Until
Dude,
Sunday.
When
Yeah, until
Sunday
Sunday.
comes around and old girl gets here, that's going to be a lot of interns here right now. That would be
Oh man, I'm actually
One,
fired now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interns here right now. 6 people that started as interns.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who would have thought?
Yep.
Missouri, North Carolina, California,
We're getting
Maryland.
repeats now.
Tennessee,
We've had-
Nebraska.
We've had 2 from Tennessee and 2 from Nebraska.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want them to keep coming. That is going to be. I wonder. Do you think we'll get it? I bet we get some inquiries about the internship after Netflix.
I get them every day. I get it. I would say I get at least one every day.
So 1,000%. I am not like, I have no preconceived, like this show could sit on the back of this platform. Joe, we all think Joe's going to get the most followers. Joe gets 22,000 followers the first night. I'm thinking Dale Brisby gets about 600. Donnie gets about the same. Leroy.
-6. Yeah. people unfollow me.
Oh, damn.
Leroy's going to do good. But I do feel like the one thing that will happen, like, will be inquiries about the internship.
Yeah.
Which I welcome.
Bring
Which
it
I
on.
welcome.
I'm glad I applied when I did. You know, competition wasn't near as fierce.
Yeah, all you had to do is compete with Wes.
Yep.
Well, that's
And
what
Wet.
you told me that mine was going to be. It was a contest or a competition for a week with 5 people. That's what I came in here knowing.
Well, we were going to do that last year.
Yeah. Well,
We were going to do that without
Yes,
the show.
that is what we were going to do. Yeah.
But that's what y'all told me when I was coming.
We were going to do that without the show, and then the show liked that idea.
Yep, I forgot all about that. So, in my mind, I was thinking like, well, we've already done this, this, and this. So what have we not done that we could do for the Netflix show? And I got to thinking like, well, we got these interns, how to be a cowboy, and so I thought, let's make it a competition. Well, then the more we got to thinking about it, like, I mean, what we do every day in ranching and rodeoing is pretty dang interesting. And by the time we introduce everyone on the show and then show that part to
Yeah,
the world,
take that
because the
into-
world doesn't watch my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a lot of subscribers compared to what I had a long time ago, but I don't have that many subscribers. So it's okay if there's a taste of what you might see us do had you been a OG follower for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Point being, we decided instead of making it a competition, let's just bring on, our top candidate and allow her to do her thing. She's already riding bulls. Donnie's done been here, and me and Leroy be Leroy, Cheech be Cheech, and that's what we ended up doing, and it was a hit. So like we just didn't need this other thing. We filmed every day nonstop.
Pretty much.
Every day.
It was.
nonstop. Up until the last day.
Yeah.
You remember the last day?
That's in the trailer too.
Because we were going to film the cutaway interviews in those 2 months, but we didn't have an extra hour.
Yeah.
We didn't have an extra hour. There was so much going on that we just like, hey guys, we're going to have to come back in a month.
Okay.
And we're like, all right. Yeah, that was fun. I feel like they could probably have done, and maybe they do. I don't know how Netflix works. I'm very new to the process, as you could tell. But like, it's 6 episodes. They must have. I haven't seen it yet. They had to have picked like the best parts because, having been a YouTuber for 8 years, I know with the stuff we filmed, they could probably make 26 episodes.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. I mean,
Like, I don't even remember it all.
right?
well, me neither,
'Cause it
obviously. 'Cause I don't
Yeah,
remember
like,
what
I
you're
don't-
talking about.
See, even that day that
Yeah.
you don't remember, I'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of the more exciting episodes, I feel like.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, to be
I don't
honest.
remember it being in an episode. I just remember doing it.
When
I
y'all unloaded the feed.
Yes.
Don's gonna watch the series.
While me and Leroy were gone and Cheech,
Oh. Okay. Yes.
we split up that day,
Yeah.
which rarely happened, which is
Okay.
why you don't remember it.
All right.
Don's gonna watch this whole thing, but like, I don't remember any of this.
Well, the podcasters right now are like, okay, a-holes, stop
Yeah.
talking
Stop talking about stuff we can't know about.
inside jokes. You
Yeah,
can know about it.
I love inside jokes. Hope to be a part of one someday.
Well, you're part of a pretty big one right now.
Well, that's like them getting mad that I've been blurred out for so long.
Oh, man, people were so mad.
Getting-
She's like,
Oh man, I wonder how many people. There's a lot of people that say, "I knew it was a girl. I knew it," but how many people really knew? Like,
yeah.
I think we threw a lot of people off with that water bottle trick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That threw a bunch of people off. Yeah. Yeah. If I feel like pretty weird saying what the water bottle trick out loud. But Joe's been blurred out. So we all agreed, the production company and the Rodeo Time team, that we wanted Joe to be introduced in the show.
Yeah.
Like, we thought that was cool, and then Joe, you messed up. You did something. And we were like, yep, Joe's on probation. And so we just kept you on probation for a year.
I thought it was that we were starting a new process and they had to stay on probation till they proved themselves. Because remember,
have been
Gabe
it.
showed
Yeah.
up and he was on probation.
For an hour.
No, for
5 minutes.
5 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, so Joe's on probation the whole year. And I would hint at it. That was
Yeah.
the extent of me hinting that we had a show, was this fall, maybe I'll get to take Joe off probation and I'll tell you why. And that was the extent of me. I feel like we did a really good job keeping that secret.
Well,
I kind of forgot about that we had filmed a show, honestly. April rolled around and it was kind of in the back of my mind. Because
Yeah.
we didn't know when it was going to come out.
Yeah.
you wouldn't hear anything about it
Yeah.
for weeks or months or up until we were doing the pickups or whatever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know. So then
Yeah.
My family would be like, when's that show coming out? I mean, you can Google it if you want, because I have no idea. They don't tell me anything.
You might find out more than we do.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even tell me till a week before. For all I knew, it was going to come out next year,
Yeah.
Because Netflix they're not like a normal,
They can do what they want.
network
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
They'll release the whole season whenever they want. And they do have, it's not like they've got a strategy to it, but and I just don't know what the strategy is. So they called and they were like, I think we're going to go next week. Well, we're going to announce next week that it will be released September 1. And I was like, it hit me. I was
Yeah.
a freaking freight train.
I was like, oh yeah, we actually filmed that.
oh, man.
it's actually going to happen.
Right. Yeah. And so, and now we're in the waiting period. It's like we're in the locker room. We're about to go out and play. Well, we've already played the game. It wouldn't be like that. Anyway.
It's like nothing else, really, that I've ever felt before.
Willie, do you feel like, had you sent a video prior to 1 year ago?
No.
Okay.
Did you know who Dale Brisby was a year ago?
Yeah. I knew Dale Brisby was December of 2019.
Nice.
That would have been about the time you should have started. Did you know that there was an internship program?
Yeah, I just didn't really want to be an intern until January. I was like, maybe I should try doing this.
January of 2020 or 2021?
2021, this past year.
Gabe's the only one that should feel slighted. He sent in videos. He sent in a bunch of videos, and we liked each one of them. But about the time it came, it's all about timing. It's all about who sent a video that week, because we don't store them, and sometimes because people's schedules change, as in a need will arise. Maybe someone moves on. Like Wes took a bigger job, and we needed an intern, and so actually he put in his 2 weeks, and 3 days later we found Nick. We started looking.
He showed up the Sunday.
Wes left on a Friday.
Yeah, and he showed up on Sunday.
And Nick showed up on Sunday. So it was, Nick had sent a video that week, the week we decided we needed an intern. For instance, so that week, Gabe had probably sent a video a couple months before, but we didn't necessarily need one at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came up that we needed an intern, Nick was at the top. Same thing with you, Willie, and the needs that came about whenever we needed that intern. We needed somebody to edit. And so I was like, hey guys, we need an intern who can edit. And then Willie Willie was like on the scene,
Came out of my chicken farm and was like, hey, I'll edit for you guys.
holding a chicken. Willie had sent, so he sent another video whenever we were like, hey, we need somebody who can edit. So he was like real professional almost, like sitting next to his computer. Do you remember him, Donnie?
The video?
Yeah.
I remember his one video with Sweet Home Alabama, and he's
So,
driving a tractor.
well, I had not seen that one.
That's the one I had seen.
The first one I saw was him sitting next to his computer, real professional, real polite,
Yeah.
and very deceptive to his true personality. But
What?
essentially,
Oh,
I was like,
no.
we got to get this guy here. And then he was like, somebody said something about he had sent other videos. Maybe you had. I go back to a video before because you can see the thread of messages, and it's him in overalls holding a chicken, being
Yeah.
completely goofy.
Yeah.
And Willie's explanation was he's like, well, that one didn't work, so I had to change it
So it
up.
wasn't funny. I was serious.
And
Yeah.
I liked that. I was like, that's funny that he at least is trying to change it up. But
I was gonna take that route and like go all around and just be dumb, like say a bunch of funny stuff or stuff I thought was funny, but I was like, I just couldn't get it to work. I was like, I had never really edited anything before, so finally I was just like, screw it, and I set my phone up on my truck and just freaking. It took me like 10 tries because I couldn't get anything to send over a minute long, so I had to get everything in under a minute because
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to split.
all right.
Videos.
So I think Gabe sent 4 videos, and they progressively got better. Like by the last one, he had a shirt tucked in, and he had a button-up shirt. He was and he was doing the same thing you did. They got progressively
More professional.
more professional. Gabe came in about the time we needed someone in the warehouse, and Joe came in about the time we needed somebody for a Netflix show.
I debated for a week on sending an intern video in.
Did you know it was? You didn't know it was for a show.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, you had told me over the phone that there was like a possibility of a Netflix series. I didn't know how real it was until I was driving to Texas and I got the contract through Netflix.
Dang. So
I had
there
no
were
idea.
10. It might have been 12. I had 12 possible interns for that time. And I had 9. I had narrowed it down to like 2 or 3. I had done FaceTime interviews or Zoom calls with like 5 of them. And it was a Friday. And I was on I-20. I was on I-20 right east of Dallas coming back home. And I stopped in at a gas station. It was a Friday. I'm pretty freaking sure it was a Friday. But anyway, they were like, we got to make a decision by Monday. We need, and I think we were going to take 2 at the time. We
Yeah.
need 2 by Monday.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of had one of them picked out, and then I was trying to decide, and then that's when Joe sent her.
Yeah, I
Like it was like
remember.
the
Last
last hour,
second.
and I was like, okay, yep, got to take Joe. Because you had done, at the time we called it like Rodeo Time Tuesday or Western Wednesday post and one, and then
Back in like 2017.
long time ago. And when your video popped up and I looked at your Instagram, I immediately remembered that, but I hadn't seen it since then. Like I had.
Well, that's because you unfollowed me.
Did I unfollow you?
You did something because you weren't following me when I got here.
not
But
that
you were
bad.
following me when that happened.
It's not that bad if Dale Brisby doesn't follow you. Or
Do I not
Rodeo
follow you?
Tom. No. You haven't followed me since I've been here.
I wonder why I unfollowed you. So I will say this. This could be it. Occasionally, I will just go through. I haven't done it in a long time because I don't go through my news feed anymore. Like first post. That's all I look at because I just don't want to sit there for 19 minutes and look up and be like, I might look at 3, maybe 7, 12 if I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. Like 1 or 2 posts, that's it. But what used to when I would like sit there for 23 minutes going through like and look, I would see people I didn't know. So then I would go jump on who I'm following and I would just go through real fast. And if I didn't know the person personally, like I had not met them, I would unfollow, and I would just go on a binge. And like a few times, like some people have come up to me like this conversation, bro, why'd you unfollow me? And I would feel bad, but I didn't know who they were. And I didn't realize it meant that much to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like, I don't think it probably set you back in life.
No, I mean, I was just like, I thought it was funny.
That explains why I didn't see your stuff for a while.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I was hurt during that time too, so
Wouldn't have seen it anyway.
I probably wasn't posting much boring stuff anyway.
Well, having known you for a year, having done a background check on you, you know, I don't know why I would have. There obviously wouldn't have been any moral reasons why I would unfollow Jordan, but. Oh, do you know of one?
No. I don't. I don't post that
Did you
much
talk
on there.
crap to me or something?
No.
Probably. She talks crap to everyone.
I do
Oh,
not
she's
talk to
always talking crap.
No.
Joe will call somebody out.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
She
I
did to
mean,
me like
that's-
5 times
Oh,
today.
I don't talk crap. Joe will call somebody out.
I don't-
oh,
That's
yeah.
not talking crap though. Like,
I don't
that's being
feel.
truthful.
Well, I believe you that you weren't talking crap to me because you get it. And who you normally call out are people that don't get it, and they don't know that they don't get it. Anyway, there's a lot of layers there in that statement I just said.
It's like an onion.
Yeah.
Onions have layers.
Oh, where's my phone? Because this podcast was supposed to also be about Willie and Donnie. We did that Q&A on Instagram.
yeah.
Was that mine over there?
No, this is my phone.
Did it fall? Where'd my phone?
Where'd Kevin go? When we need him.
Well, I was supposed to. Here. Why is it on the ground?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Willie was trying to follow himself.
I'm trying to follow myself with
Willie
my
had my
toes.
phone. He was trying to follow me.
I was trying to take my
Okay.
toes.
Donnie and Willie. All right, we got some cues for Donnie and Willie here. So, no, that's just life advice. Why do you keep cutting your mullet, Donnie?
Because I like it at this length. It's kind of my signature length.
Someone asked me if I'm bald. I said yes. Someone asked me why I hate farming. Why farming? All of a sudden, I'm from Boston and I hate farming. Why do y'all hate farming? And we don't hate farming. It's not as fun to do as ranching,
Yeah.
but as Donnie said,
It's a lot more fun to raise cows than corn. I think that's what I said.
right, but you also said you can probably make more money
Oh
farming.
yeah, for sure.
But I just rather sit on a
I'm-
horse than a tractor.
I know a lot more millionaire farmers than millionaire cowboys. Not that they're not out there.
I don't know any millionaire cowboys, to be honest.
Yeah.
How long do they stay for? And I think they're referring to Donnie and Willie. How long do interns stay for? Willie, it's like a day-by-day thing. Like he could be sent home any day.
Within the hour.
Yeah.
Within the minute. to be
Yeah.
honest.
Because he likes to cut things down, trees and whatnot.
It's been a while.
It has.
You should watch for Kevin. Kevin was cutting trees down as a profession
With one arm?
with one arm. The one-arm bandit was
But
a
see, I
lumberjack.
would think that like a profession, a
Sorry, I'm a
professional,
little premature on the rep. on there.
a professional tree cutter would probably know which ones not to cut.
Yeah.
But the interns can stay for, let's see, I've had one stay as little a time as 2 weeks. Nick stayed for 2 months. The very first one, Deanie Weenie String Bikini, he stayed for, I want to say 2 months. His was an actual internship that he got college credit for. Garrett stayed for 5 months. Wes stayed for a year. Jordan's been here a year. Gabriel's been here 6 or 8 months. Willie's been here too long already. And then Donnie's been here the longest. Donnie's been here 2 years. How's it feel? It's been longer than 2 years.
Yeah, it was 2 years. The 1st of July.
Is Willie your best intern? No. Jordan is.
People
Fun.
like Willie though.
I don't know
it
why.
Seems like I don't really know either. I think it's more or less how I portray you through my camera.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I owe it all to you.
Pretty much.
What a good friend. Or
You're welcome.
really good acquaintance.
We
Yep.
get a lot of people
Yep.
asking if y'all have girlfriends.
Duh.
Put his seatbelt on.
How's your mom doing, by the way?
Tell Willie to put a seatbelt on.
Yeah, buckle up, Willie.
I got a ticket for that.
Anybody out there that has a helmet for Willie?
Yeah,
He's in the market to buy a bull riding
that's
helmet.
I
not. Those
found
aren't
him
cold
some.
sores on his face. those are Hawk. They came from dew claws.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
dew claws
sure.
on the back of a bull's
I
foot.
fall off a lot and rip a lot of shirts, and I don't stay on them very much.
Donnie, why don't you ride bulls anymore?
Scared of them, man. They're mean. Broncs don't chase after you come off of them.
Willie, what kind of girl are you looking for out
Well,
there?
right now he's looking at Jordan, but
Are the interns allowed to date? If so, what's their open pickup line? And I said, I don't know if Donnie and Willie are dating. I haven't asked them. Chris Ledoux or George Strait, and I said that's kind of like asking, do you love your mom more than you love your dad? Which
Yeah.
I'm sure some people may not be afraid to answer that
Yeah.
question, but if my mom and dad are sitting there, I'm not going to answer it.
yeah.
Be honest, why does Willie still have a job?
I'm getting some love and some hate here.
How old are you, Willie?
22.
Is it true that Dale wears a wig?
Yes.
Do you take female interns?
No. Just kidding.
We have
guys.
one here now, and the next one coming is. So I will let you guys get introduced to them. Willie's 22, Donnie's 25.
What?
Nothing.
Do you hope we get a season 2 so you could be in Netflix, or are you
I
impartial?
don't think he's gonna pass the background test.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
Chest?
Yeah. I said test.
You said background chest.
Yeah, I heard chest too.
You got a chest on your background?
I'm confused now.
The background test. What is it going to say?
It's gonna come up clean.
Willie the chicken farmer?
Yeah, I didn't do anything up there. There was nothing to do.
Yeah. I believe it. Chicken farming sounds... Is that the last podcast you were on? We were talking about you chicken farming?
We
No,
haven't
the
done
last
a
one was you
podcast
about
in
being
a while.
an astronaut.
Oh, that's right. No, wanting to be an astronaut.
But having to do
Yeah.
gymnastics instead.
Instead, yeah, that's a ripoff.
Yeah, so
And you wiped your boogers on your socks.
Yep.
Gross.
I'm just going to give you, podcasters who have not heard that podcast, I'm going to give you the short story, the short version of that long story.
Here we go
But
again.
essentially, I remember being a kid and saying, what did I say? Like, I wonder what's out there. Like, we got to get out there. We got to find out what's out there in outer space. I was so intrigued with outer space. And my mom was like, we need to figure out what's going on this world first. Like, get this figured out before you. And I remembered that every time I thought about outer space for the rest of my life. Like, I remember we had about a 4-mile drive home out into the country whenever I was a kid. And so I was on that drive when she told me. I remember where we were. We'd come over the hill. We were about to cross over Indian Creek. We need to figure out Earth first. There's plenty to learn here before you go off into outer space. And, like, I would, like, tell people that. I would, like, somebody would talk about outer space. Like, we need to figure out Earth first. Like, that was, like, my foundation, you know. And then later
Shut
in
up,
life,
Elon Musk.
Mars? Come on, Elon. So, like, later, and then I just realized later that that's what I built that on. Like, my mom was just having a bad day or something. Or maybe I was being annoying in her defense, you know, like, shut the heck up, you little kid. And so Leroy, on the other hand, who we took to Childress to go to guitar lessons, got to pursue his dream. And I guess, you know, what...
You had to settle for being the world's greatest bull rider.
Well, at the time, I guess my mom didn't feel like I was flexible enough to be a bull rider because she stuck me in gymnastics, only because they were at the same time as my brother's guitar lessons. So anyway, yeah, and then I stopped wanting to go to gymnastics because the gymnastic teacher told us to put our boogers on our socks. So I actually told y'all the long version of that story.
Yeah.
That's how we go from being an astronaut to picking your boogers. So I hope that gymnastics teacher isn't listening. But she was like, I mean, I don't want to say she made a good point, but her point was, you know, they're going to come off in the laundry, and technically they would come off any garment. So, like, why not just put it on your shirt if you're going to put it on your socks? And anyways, very gross.
I would just eat them. Build up my immune system.
All right. Netflix, we got a new intern. What else is going on? You went to your first rodeo.
Yeah.
How did it feel getting on a bronc with Netflix cameras?
I don't know, man. It was weird, kind of.
at the house and at the
It was just kind of I wish I would have been farther along,
yeah.
and just because there's so much to learn anyways in the sport, and you're just trying to focus on that.
Yeah.
It was I mean, I don't regret it. It was cool and
Distracting.
Yeah, it was just a little, yeah. I think that.
So, one thing I felt as you were getting on, having been on stuff in front of cameras and do things in front of cameras and been to a lot of rodeos, I feel like if you let it, there is always something that can distract you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even if you're at the practice pen and it's only the essential personnel that's there, there's no dog barking, there's no music, there's no that alone, that fact can be distracting.
Yeah.
You go to a rodeo, like any little thing, it could be the pickup man or the stock contractors hustling you, the announcer says your name wrong, the Josh Hambone Hilton plays a weird song for you, like something about redheads. Any one of those little things can distract you, and you've got to focus.
Yeah.
You got to execute. And did you, as you kept getting on Bronx after the show, you've been to a couple of rodeos since, do you see that? Do you feel like you got better at it?
That's kind of been a recent discovery for me.
What do you mean?
Like, really focusing. Like, you hear guys say it, and you're like, yeah, I'm focused. But are you? Like, are you really thinking about what you're supposed to do? I don't know. That's kind of, like I said, if we were filming it now, like, I'd been a lot more comfortable with those cameras, but it is what it is, I was at that stage of my career, and
Yeah.
that's just when it happened to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I having broke my collarbone, Buffalo was my first one back, and I hadn't been on a lot, in a while. And that I remember getting down in the chute and, everything, and it just like my mind started, and I was like, no, focus.
Yeah.
And then I just focused, and it just like, it was like that part of it was like riding a bike.
Yeah.
And it took me back, and it's just like, oh man. And that moment, I'm just so glad, like it just kicked in. It was like, oh yeah. This is what we're doing. You kind of got to forget about what everybody's thinking, forget about whether or not your wig's going to fall off, and just execute.
I don't think I realized that at that time. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Like, people can say stuff to you, and you think you know what they mean. Like, now lift. Like,
Yeah.
you think you're lifting, but you're not.
Right.
Obviously, you're not. You got bucked off,
Or you're lifting the first half of the ride.
Yeah, and you set your rein down.
Remember that.
Yeah.
And then it changes somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
you can't think like, all right, I was lifted, like I'm lifting now, like you can't stop.
Yeah, now I'm going to work on turning my toes out mid-ride.
Yeah.
There's just like, it's crazy how you've got to develop these fundamentals, and no matter where you're at in your career, the fundamentals are just as important as they were. You see like Tom Brady at a Super Bowl, maybe throw an interception or something because he missed out on one of his fundamentals.
Yeah.
7-time Super Bowl winner might make a mistake. It's because he didn't execute the fundamentals. And so, like, if those guys still have to execute, how important is it, if the Tom Bradys and the Dale Brisbys and, LeBron Jameses of the world, What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean,
How do you walk us through like your mindset when you're crawling down on a bull in the chute?
I don't know. I'm just always really excited to get on. Like, there's only been like a few times that I was like, maybe I shouldn't get on today, and I'd do it anyway. But
so I think you might be thinking of something different. So like, are you addressing like fear?
No, like being focused on stuff around you, like focused on the bull, focused on who's standing right there, just being, I don't know. I like to be focused, but there's been times where I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, like arguing with my old man used to say that. He was like, I never really rode good if I left the house having argued with my parents. Which I rode good having argued with my parents a few times, and I was like, I wonder why I couldn't do that. But I think in general, what he was just trying to say was, you know, just the distraction part. I remember one time in Liberty, circled around there, and freaking, if I don't feel my face, I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Came on, and I was at like 6.5 seconds, and I was about to win, and I was like, I wonder why they, and he hit the fence and took it, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I remember vividly him, that song being played when in the ride, and I remember thinking, like, it had been a long summer, and I was feeling good all summer, and I just got comfortable, and I can't feel my face. You don't hear that during a ride.
Yeah.
You know, like that's, normally it's like that might be something leading up to, which it's obviously not his fault. That's what it sounded like. But I'm just saying, like, it made sense in my mind, like, that I thought that. It's just like, my angel is a centerfold or something. That's what you hear, not I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
Well, I thought, like, there's been a lot of times where I thought I was doing stuff right, and I just didn't understand why I was getting bucked off. And it's just the amount, like you said it the other day, you're like, the amount of, it's mentally exhausting. Like, and I was like, that makes so much, like, you just have to think that hard about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just going to happen by accident. Like,
Right.
you have to be doing stuff right.
Well, so that day you had gotten on 2. You got on 1, and you got bucked off.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Dreamer. It was Brisket.
Yeah.
You got bucked off, and you were kind of asleep. I don't remember what horse it was, but you were kind of asleep. Maybe it was Baptist, and it woke you up and it pissed you off.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hustled over to the chute, and you quickly got on a second one.
Yeah.
And it was a completely different outcome. Like,
Yeah.
you were a different bronc rider, the second one. And so I think what we were talking about, if I'm remembering the right conversation, was like where you went the second time is where you got to go every single time. Whether it's your first bull, whether it's a bronc of the evening, whether you're tired, you drove all night, like, mentally you got to go to that spot, a consistent spot of performance every time. Because obviously where you had gone on the first one mentally didn't work, you know? And so it was what was unusual about that day was there were 2 distinct bronc riders that showed up. You know, the first one didn't get his bronc rode. The second one did. Every single horse, like most, and bull, 0 to 60 when the gate opens.
Yeah.
They don't have to think about it. They don't have to go to a spot. They just react. They do what they're going to do. And we, as the rider, we can't just rely on our reaction. Like, we have to make it happen. And to make it happen, we got to, like, be there mentally. We've got to, like, consciously focus on lifting and setting your mark out or getting out over him, and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, it's been just recently that I think I've stopped, like, wondering what he's going to do. Like, you know, like, where you just. And
that's the biggest distraction.
Yeah. You're like, oh, what's he going to do? Like, well, doesn't really matter what he's going to do because
Exactly.
you better be with him. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't always do the same thing.
Well, no. I'm not saying, like, you're mapping out what.
There's just that pause.
Like
in bronc riders, you see them D up the first jump when they're wondering. You'll see them wonder because they D up and they're like, oh yeah, it's just a bronc, and then they ride. And it takes, and when you're starting out, you get bucked off. If you've been on 240, you still might have that, what's he going to feel like, what's he going to do? You know how to D up, so then you can catch up. And there's another kind of bronc rider, and usually it's the guys that make the NFR, or they were just out of it, where they set their mark out, and then the first jump they spur, and then the second jump they spur, and then the third jump and you can tell there was never this, I wonder what he's going to do. It was always, this is my game plan.
lift
No
his
matter
face
what
off
this
and
does, I'm gonna lift, and I'm not gonna. Oh, can I do? No, yeah, I can do it. Okay, I'm riding him. Yeah, now I'm 85 instead of 89. You know, and that's where it's. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because that to me is the biggest distraction. How's this gonna go today?
Yeah. I wonder what it's gonna feel like. I wonder if, like,
am I gonna show up?
Yeah.
You know. But then you're like, oh yeah, I'm the one that gets to decide that.
Yeah, I think that's more overwhelming to me than like the actual animal itself. Like getting, I don't know. Like I don't really. Now I'm stumbling over my words, but I'm just saying.
Mentally going
Yeah,
where you need to go.
Yeah, that's more of a process than being like afraid of the animal, I think.
At the end of it, like the things you do on the animal and what the animal is going to do is like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Speaking of what the animal's going to do and wondering, like Seymour horse went straight up in the air and back on top of you.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about it the next practice horse, but apparently that was.
Well, I got on a horse the next morning at the house, and then I went and got on 2 more horses that night because I was like, you can't be like.
Is that when you went to that other practice pen in Toller?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know. Like I was worried about me being scared of them.
That's the best way to react to like an injury.
Well, you got on a reride horse that night too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That helped.
Yeah. But I wish I had that horse back because I was just on that horse. But just nodding for him was kind of a mental win, I think.
Man, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
It seems like when you're starting out, like you draw the one that everybody wants that you might not be ready for.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What about you? Coming back from an injury, Joe. Sorry, I was thinking the
Wait.
question. I didn't say it. Like what's that process like for you getting on after you've had your bell rung or got out of surgery or?
It's a long process because I like to take the time to like really build up on a barrel and stuff. But like mentally, the first couple are usually pretty tough, honestly. Like not necessarily scared, but there's just so much that can happen. Like you hang a spur or whatever, like that's kind of out of your control. So it's just kind of like not thinking about that kind of stuff before you get on. Because I get on bulls, so I don't know what it's like getting on a bronc after something like that happens. But
Yeah.
for getting on bulls, like it's just about just getting on and just getting through the first couple for me, realizing I'm going to be fine and
Right.
then keep going.
Bulls are easy to turn down the volume.
Yes.
Like you got if you had to, you could get on a cow.
Yeah.
You could go.
Just run.
You could have a rancher run a cow in. You could get on a rope and steer. You could get on something at the sale barn. Anybody with a practice pen is going to have a jump kicker. You get on a herd bull. Like there's just so much that in the bull riding, like they're a dime a dozen, you know. In the horse riding, good heavens. You go to a practice pen like Toller, there's probably a couple of guys that I'm just assuming, we haven't talked about it, but I know the practice pens I've been to, let's say they got 30 horses or that's a bunch. Like let's say they got 12 or 15 horses.
They had a bunch of horses.
3, 4, or 5 guys there. Somebody's going to know them horses and they're going to cherry pick the hoppers,
Yeah.
you know. And who needs to be getting on those are the guys who have never been on. They get on the ones
They were pretty good about putting people on the right stock. Like you had a couple guys there that were really going, and they got on some juicy stuff. And then there was a lot of kids getting on for the first time there.
scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. One kid was a big kid that got on one. It was his first one, and he kind of hung his stirrup, and I was like, I was shouting, roll to your belly.
Yeah.
His boot didn't
He like
hardly
jumped
come
up.
off.
Whew.
Yeah.
that
But
was awesome.
they had the right stock there for people. Like,
That getting on bucking horses is the most dangerous thing in rodeo when you're starting out. More dangerous than bull riding. That's why I more prefer people to have gotten on a few broncs prior to getting here. I like for them to go to a school or something, 8, 10, 12 horses at least. 50, 60, 100 is better. That's why it took Donnie forever for me to let Donnie get on his first here.
Yeah, I've been here 2 years, but I've only been riding broncs for like
I
a
think
year.
had 2020 not done what it done, I probably would have ended up sending you to a school.
Probably.
But it was just like there wasn't anything to go to. It's like, all right, we need to get on broncs here. And then we discovered Baptist's trip with a light flank was like the trip.
Yeah.
I wish at this point we had about a dozen of those that were very, had some different, so you got to feel different horses that were a similar caliber. But we have what we have. Nobody wants to sell those hoppers
No,
because they're so hard to come by.
Been finding that out.
Yeah. Because most of the time, if a horse doesn't buck, they just run, and you don't want to get on those.
No.
That's why they're harder to find. Because if a bull doesn't buck, a lot of them won't run. They'll just kind of hop around. But what about you, Willie? You got to come back from a few injuries.
Yeah, I guess. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. Willie is really quiet now, y'all.
Yeah, he usually doesn't shut the F up.
Willie has recently started. Please check it out. I'm sure if you've been listening to our podcast this long, you will. It's called Winnebago Weeklies by Willie Wardle. It's a new channel on YouTube. It's the Rodeo Time channel, and you can find it on Rodeo Time Instagram, which he also runs. But the Winnebago Weeklies are behind the scenes of just everyday life at Winnebago, and he's doing a great job. Actually, they come out 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Killing it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
He's so quiet. This is
Yeah.
so odd.
I thought you were asking about like my bull riding stuff, and I was like, well, no one wants to hear about my bull riding
I'm
career.
sure they do.
So.
Why wouldn't they? You got a
'Cause
bunch of
there's not
people
much
out
to
there
it.
listening
You have
that
a lot
have
of
never
fans.
been on a bull. You've been
Yeah.
on about 20, 25,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden you are, if they're out there and they've never been on and they want to get on, then you're at a level that they will need to get to. Because sometimes, let's face it, those kids getting on the Dale Brisby level is a little unrealistic.
Yeah.
But getting on, the Willie level, and then, maybe like a 4th grader level, and then above that 6th grade,
And then maybe 8th grade if we're getting lucky.
those are all right, those are some steps they can accomplish. So it's like, of course they would want to hear from you. Tell us what you think about bull riding, having been on 20 head.
I love it. I think that's why I don't want to do bronc riding is because I like bull riding so much.
He also,
After that horse flipped over.
It's like,
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
first thing I did was go up to Willie. I was like, you still want to get on Bronx?
he
good,
said,
man.
no,
That's
we'll
all
just ride
you.
bulls.
Well, when we were at that practice pen, I was there and they're like, come on, man, we got all the stuff for you to get on your first one here. And I was like, I'm good,
I told
man.
him, I was like, no, you're not doing it. We're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Joe didn't say that.
I said,
She said you can't be a wussy your whole life. Come on, Will, you can't be a wussy your whole life. Why not?
Bull riders compared to bronc riders are kind of like right now, people that talk about there's 2 sides of like getting the shot in your arm. They're either like adamantly against it or adamantly for it. There's no middle ground apparently, which is wild to me. I don't get it. That's a whole nother story. Same thing with bronc riders and bull riders. Like very seldom do you see crossover. That's why I like Ty Murray, Lyle Sankey, Larry Mahan, Jim Shoulders. The only 4 people to go to the NFR in all 3 rough stock events are such an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like bull riders. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. For instance, JB's been on some bareback horses, but most bull riders terrified of horses. Most horse riders terrified of bulls. And so it's funny that you say that. You went from, I want to be a bull rider, maybe let's try broncs. You see one horse flip, you're like, I'm out. Forget 'em.
Well, I was already having thoughts like before that.
I'll ride
but
Boone. That's it.
That was getting on the icing on the cake. I was like, I don't know if this is what I'd want to do.
That's a thing, though, man. Like, bull riders hate the thought of getting on a horse, and horse riders hate the thought of getting on a bull. Like, but they're but it takes a cowboy to ride them both.
I just never felt comfortable on bulls.
Yeah.
Like even when I was making a half decent ride,
Nice catch.
I was just felt so like no control. Like
Yeah. That just reminded me. Remember that one day you got bucked off, and it was like one of the first times you got on a horse in front of the Netflix deal, and you were like on the other side of and there weren't cameras around, but like we were mic'd up, and you were like cussing.
that was the most painful buck off I've ever had in my life.
And I was like, dude, you gotta stop cussing. You're like, okay, oh my bad, sorry.
I mean, they're gonna go back and hear it, so
Yeah, that was the most pain. That hurt. It didn't. I don't like. It didn't even really look as bad as it felt. Like
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like some stuff happened on this show that does not happen normally.
like that hurt.
That was a gnarly buck. It's
Yeah.
one of the thumbnails
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
You made the thumbnail.
Well, I seen another thumbnail that they put, and it's like the silhouettes of me. You.
That's funny.
I was like, what the heck? Like, I didn't even like. But that's not even me.
It's a play on like the. It's like a satire western thumbnail.
Yes.
I thought it was hilarious when I saw it.
You're not the one getting bucked off.
Y'all go check out. If you have a Netflix account, we would love it. Very much appreciate it if you would go add it to your list to watch. Like, remind me, do the notification, hit the bell. That way, Netflix will, remind you when it comes on September 1st. So, anyway, any life advice, Donnie?
Shoot. Oh,
man.
shoot, man. I was thinking of one the other day. Gosh, dang. This isn't what I was thinking about, but it's my fallback. Take a chance. Columbus did.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, I have.
That's what Tough Hedeman said.
I had something better though that I was gonna say, but I just completely.
I wasn't like about to say it, but I remember saying I need to use that at the next podcast. Take a chance. Columbus did. Yeah, that's what Tough Hedeman said on our podcast with Rock and Roll. Which look theirs up, by the way. Joe, this is your first time.
Do I have to do? Can I just do a cow joke?
Sure.
Why do cows have hooves instead of feet?
I don't know.
Because they lack toes.
I don't get it.
Of course you don't, Willie. What's your life advice?
Just send it. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Mine is don't play leapfrog with unicorns.
I don't get that.
That's what
one
I
either.
was gonna say.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't get any of these ones.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this long. Just a bunch of rambling about some cowboys out in the mesquite trees that just got a Netflix show. So September 1's going to come around. I'm sure everybody's going to laugh at us. We're all going to lose our jobs, but we're going to enjoy it while it's August.
Yeah.
So check it out on Netflix, coming out September 1st. It really is some of our best work. So if you don't enjoy it, then don't tell us about it. It'll hurt our feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and check out Winnebago Weeklies.
I should get like the intro and play it. Song.
That's okay.
That's such a fun.
I've heard it so many times now.
He does a dance too when he finishes an episode. And
Every
it plays
time.
Through. First time he watches it back, he dances to the music.
That's funny.
Why are you watching me? Weirdo.
Thanks, and on to the next one, everybody.